Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Z. I'm just using the first letter of your name for privacy purposes, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT, your TOEFL online course. And you made a comment over my website. I'm going to go to the Join tab. That's where you made your comment. And see if I can give you some help with your question. So you say, Mr. Michael, I'm sending you this message to explain my situation. I'm a foreign pharmacist trying to become a certified pharmacist in California. And guess what? I live in California. You say, my problem is passing the TOEFL test with a score of, you have reading 22, listening 21, writing 24, and speaking 26. You say, so far I have reading 19, so you're not close enough there. Listening you have 22, which is fine. Writing is 24, which is also fine. And then you have 23 points in the speaking, which is 3 points shy of your goal. You say, I've been trying to get this score since 2010. I have another 10 months to pass the test, and after that time, the California Board of Pharmacy will close my file. I have tried many courses, but without a result. Please tell me how your course would make a difference in my situation. I don't know what's wrong with my English. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It might not be my course or anybody else's course. It could be you. So sometimes it's not the course you're taking, it's the student who's taking the course. It depends on your motivation, your effort, your practice. It depends on what you do, what kind of English you're using every day. It's really you. You're going to make the difference, I think, in terms of reaching this goal. It is your life. It's not mine, it's not anybody else's. It's really your decision here. You can pass this exam. You can do it. Now, I'm going to tell you how, and a lot of the suggestions I'm going to give you don't even involve my course or anybody else's courses directly. You can do these things on your own. Now, probably you'll need some help with your speaking. I mean, that makes some sense, but let's talk about your reading first of all. Now, the question really is how hard and how consistent are you willing to work to achieve your goal? Let me give you an example. If you come up to me and say, hey Michael, I want to run a sub 3-hour marathon. Now to run a marathon faster than 3 hours, it takes work, it takes time, it takes practice. Now if I make certain recommendations but you don't follow those recommendations, then later on, you can't really complain about why you were not able to run a sub 3-hour marathon, because if you didn't follow the plan and you didn't do the practice, you're not going to reach the goal. You see what I'm saying? Now with reading is tough, but you can reach your goal doing 5 things. There's 5 specific things that you can do. You might want to write these down. Now, these 5 things involve a lot of practice, they involve a lot of work, it involves an extended period of time, but if you do these 5 things, you will be able to reach your goal. Number 1, you want to continue reading extensively about 45 to 60 minutes every day. This is very, very important. You can read magazines, you can read newspapers, and you could read longer books. Now this is very, very important. Extensive reading over a long period of time helps build your concentration. And if you can concentrate better when you read, your comprehension is going to go up. So that's the first thing you want to keep doing if you're not doing it now. Number 2, you need to build your vocabulary more. Now, it's hard building vocabulary. It's not just reading a list. My suggestion is this. It takes hard work. It takes practice. You need to get some vocabulary lists. I have some in my online course, But my online course is not going to force you to learn the words. You're going to have to learn these words on your own. What you want to do is you want to take the vocabulary words, put one word on a note card. On the opposite side of the note card, you want to put the definition, a sample sentence, and maybe even some synonyms and antonyms of the words. And then you want to start studying your words on a regular basis. But first of all, the hard part is to take the words from the vocabulary list and put them onto note cards. If you make your own note cards, you're going to remember them much better than if you get somebody else's note cards. It's important that you create your own study system with your vocabulary, but you need to build your vocabulary if you want to improve your reading. Number 3. You need to improve your reading speed to a minimum of 300 words per minute with about 60 to 80% comprehension. You do not have to understand everything that you read, but you need to have about a 60 to 80% comprehension at 300 words per minute. Increasing your reading speed is very, very helpful for your overall reading proficiency. Number 4. You want to become familiar with the IBT reading question types and the strategies for answering them. There's all kinds of different reading questions on the TOEFL IBT. We have rhetorical questions, we have main idea questions, we have vocabulary questions, we have questions about organization, we have questions that require you to complete a chart or a table, and on and on and on. It's important to know when you see a certain question, how do you answer that kind of question? So understanding the question types and the strategies for answering them is also important. Now, the last thing you want to do is to take TOEFL level reading practice tests and then spend time going over the practice test, paying attention to the answers that you miss and doing analysis of those answers. If you do these 5 things, you will be able to reach your goal. Now, the most important areas here are reading extensively, studying vocabulary, and increasing your reading speed. These 3 things take some time. Now, at my particular website, in terms of reading comprehension, I can help you build your vocabulary. I have 70 different speed reading tests to help you improve your reading speed to 350 words per minute. And I have the test-taking strategies for the reading section. You can also complete full-length TOEFL IBT practice tests at my website, so you don't have to pay the full $200 to take the TOEFL exam and then find out you're not ready yet. So that's how I can help you there. But remember that a lot of what you do with your reading is on your own. It's hard. You gotta spend that time every day focusing on reading. So that's very, very important there. Now let's take a look at your speaking for just a minute, and let's try to find out some of the problems you're having with your speaking. You say, I don't know what's wrong with my English. So let's go over to the rubrics. I've modified the rubrics that ETS uses for the independent and integrated writing tasks. So if you get a score of 23 on the independent speaking, here's what it means. You have minor difficulties with pronunciation, intonation, or pacing, which are noticeable and require effort, but your intelligibility is not affected. So chances are you do have some problems with pronunciation, including your tone. My website has about 5 different lessons that focus on intonation. I can also help you in all the other important areas of your pronunciation to help you speak more naturally. But the main thing here is you have to speak English a lot with native speakers in order to change your pronunciation issues. Now, if you're scoring around 23 points out of 30 or 3.0 out of 4, you also have what's called imprecise or incorrect use of vocabulary or grammar structures. Now remember, if you're already reading a lot, you can improve in this area. It's important that follow my first suggestion about reading improvement, and you can also connect improvements into your speaking, but chances are you have some vocabulary and grammar problems with your speaking right now. Now, in terms of topic development, it's possible that your ideas are limited, that you need to more fully develop your ideas. You can also improve the organization of your ideas. So these are the reasons why you're getting 23 points out of 30 on the speaking right now. These are the improvements that you need to make. In other words, you need to make improvements with your delivery, with your language use, and also your topic development. Now let's go to the integrated speaking task. If you're scoring about 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30, it is possible in terms of topic development, in addition to the problems I've already explained, you might be what's called incompletely or inaccurately answering the integrated speaking task. You may have a lack of specific details in relation to the information, or you can improve the organization of your ideas. So these are some of the issues that you're having trouble with. So these are problems that you have to solve if you want to score higher. But the main thing here is a question that you have to really think about right now, is how much do you want to identify with the people living in California? Now, California is a very multicultural area. It's possible that you can live in California and speak your own language and not even speak English, and you can function. For example, you can take the DMV test in your own language and not English, right? You can probably find grocery stores that only sell what you like to eat from your culture and so on. But you have to really mingle and you have to really be part of the new culture if you want to improve your speaking and your pronunciation of American English, right? So it is possible for you to make these improvements, but it's going to take some time. So going to this specific question of how your course would make a difference in my situation, I don't know. I don't know if my course or anybody else's course will make a difference. The question is, will you do what it takes to make the improvements? I cannot look over your shoulder and make sure that you're doing all the suggestions that I just gave you in this video. It's something that you have to do yourself. So I cannot guarantee anything with my particular course. My course is helpful if you follow my suggestions. If you start completing, for example, pronunciation and speaking practice tests on a regular basis, that's going to give me a chance to score your responses. I can give you some suggestions to help you get better, but ultimately it relies on you. You have to be the one to post your speaking and pronunciation practice tests. Of course, I can grade them and give you feedback on them, but it's up to you to make the improvements that you need to make. Now, another suggestion I recommend is once you complete the pronunciation pretest in my course, I'll do a diagnostic and tell you what problems you're having with vowels, consonants, syllable division and grammatical word endings, word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, and also thought groups and blending. I can tell you what your problems are, but then you have to go into my course and go through those videos to help improve in those areas. I recommend as you go through my pronunciation videos, actually read out loud with me as I teach you the information in those videos. That can help you work on your rhythm, your pacing, your tone, and all the other important areas to helping you speak more clearly. That would be some of my suggestions right now. Alright, so I hope that my course can make a difference. It looks like you're running against a timeline here. You got 10 months. I believe that you should be able to solve these problems within just a few months. That would be my best guess. In fact, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to recommend my 90-day TOEFL study guide for you. It has a very heavy emphasis on vocabulary, and I think that's going to be beneficial to you, and you really want to learn the words on the list. If you learn the words in my vocabulary list, you'll learn 1,700 college level words. That's going to have a huge impact on your reading, on your listening, your writing, your speaking. A lot of different areas of your academic English will get better by learning those words. So that would be my suggestions there. So again, I will recommend my 90-day TOEFL study guide for you. And let's make this your final TOEFL course. You can do this. You got to believe it yourself. You can reach your goal if you follow the suggestions I've outlined in this video. It is possible. The question is, are you willing to work hard to make it happen? Now, to conclude the video, I'll just give you some final suggestions. Everything that you do right now needs to be in English. When you turn on the TV and you watch the news, it should be in English. When you call somebody on the phone and talk, it should be in English. When you're reading things, you should be reading things in English. Everything that you do right now needs to center around the English language. This is very important. Alrighty? Anyway, thank you very much for your comments, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.